Hello, I'm going to be talking on PHP. What is PHP? PHP stands for Hypertext Preprocessor. It is a server-side language that is used for web development. PHP is an object-oriented language which could be integrated into an HTML page. In this tutorial, I'm going to explain how PHP works in the World Wide Web. There are two types of coding languages, the server side and the client side. The server side means the language is run and interpreted on the server, while the client side is run in your web browser. Before a PHP can work, it must have been installed in the browser. Most hosting providers install PHP. Before a PHP command can be run, the file's name must end in .php, like this. Open up your popular text editor like PHP, and then create a file. Save that file as whatever name you want to give it, .php. It could be index.php, it could be whatever file.php, like so. And then save the file. Some of the basic things you should know about PHP is that the PHP code must be between these tags. So whatever you want to put will be between this open PHP element and this element. Thing to note is that every statement ends in semicolon, like this. This is, you put your code, you put all your code in between this PHP opening tag and the closing tag, like so. So all your code go in here. So what another thing to note is every statement ends in semicolon, like this. So after writing out your text or whatever, you should always put the semicolon like so. So the semicolon marks the end of a statement. I also want you to know some other characters, like this character. This indicates a return carriage. Another one is this. This indicates that a new line should be formed. This character here, meaning new line. So you escape it. See? You are saying this should be a new line. So when the browser wants to render it, this one will be rendered here. There are some other characters like this that are very, very important and useful in PHP. We shall get to that later. So now, I want us to look at a variable. Put in all your statements, your strings, your numbers, or whatever. They act as containers. If you, like in this case now, if you want this statement now to be outputted somewhere in your HTML file, let's say, okay, I want my users to see this, or you want to instruct your user, and you want this instruction to be all over your pages. For example, you want to instruct your user that they should you want to instruct your users that they should always remember to log out. And you want this instruction on every page. Then definitely, because it is a repeated statement, you want it everywhere, then you have to put it in a container. And then now, when you want to output this thing in your, you want to output it on your page, you don't even need to write out all this any longer. You just use the colon variable. And once you just put your colon variable in wherever you want this thing displayed, this will be displayed there. You get my meaning? For example, let's say this is my HTML file. Okay, this is a simple HTML file. Let's assume now in this paragraph, we want to output this to the browser. We want our user to be able to see this instruction. What we'll do now is that we'll just take this variable and then put it here like this. So we don't need to write out, please always remember to log out again here. So just take this variable and put it here. And the browser understands that what is inside this container is this text. It could be a number, it could be an image, it could be whatever, it could be anything you put in a variable. It could be an array, group of variables, group of values put inside a single variable. That's just an array. An array is a group of values put inside a single container. That's just the simple definition of an array. If you don't want to confuse yourself, it's the simple definition of an array. So now, in between this space, you just put in your, to let the browser know you have a PHP element here. As usual, put in the PHP syntax. So now, just put it here. So here is it. It means we are saying, please always remember to log out should be enclosed between the paragraph tag. You could also echo it out directly like this. Always remember the semicolon at the end of each statement. You could echo it out like this, you could echo it out like this. So we now know how to use variable. The next thing now, let's consider another important thing. Whenever you are declaring a variable, you should always remember the dollar sign here. In PHP, variables are declared with the dollar sign. All variables start with the dollar sign. So always remember it. If you want to output a dollar in PHP, let's say you want to output an amount, and that amount has a dollar. What you do is to escape the dollar. So to tell PHP that this is not a variable. Let's look at functions. What are functions? One thing I really do not like in this programming language is the vocabulary, which has a lot of vocabulary that confuse people. At times when they say call, you think they are calling somebody, or it's a kind of a telephone model or whatever. Not knowing call is as simple as saying use. And instead of them to go straight to the point, they keep confusing people. They will tell you function call, call your function. Imagine, I don't know why function has become a shadow that you will continue to call, or function has become a telephone that you continue to call. You see, wherever you see them say function, wherever you see them say call, what they mean is use. Function call means use of function. You use this function here, but they will say you call this function here. Another thing I want us to know is that function is like action. Function is like a verb, a doing word, action word. So wherever you see function, know that they are asking that something should be done. This is an example of a function. When you use include, like so, it's a function. You write out the word and then this, and then the bracket follows. In the bracket is where you put your argument. We have a lot of built-in functions in PHP. When you use a function, you're automatically saying something should be done, which is an action word. Function action. I want you to put that in mind so you don't get confused. It is very, very easy to understand PHP. Very easy to understand PHP. And very easy to use, and very easy to build an application using PHP if you get the right teacher. Now, this include file means it is used to include a file inside of another file. Now, if I have a file and I need some things from that file to be added to another file, all I need to do is to put the file's name between the brackets and then open up the other file where I want to include this, and then say include this file in this HTML page. Where we use this include, the importance of this include is, for example, now you want all your pages to have a particular style, or to have a particular style, like you want all your pages to have the same header. You can put your header in a particular file, give it a name, and then put the file's name here, and then in all the pages you want this your header to be displayed, you now put the include header.php on this page. Name your file, you call it anything, you will call it header.php. So you now use this include in wherever you want the header to be displayed. So this is an example of a function. We have several functions. We have round functions. If you want a password to be generated automatically and sent to a user, maybe a user enters in user information in a form input, and or you want some user, maybe you want a user to be able to access a protected page. Maybe you are selling something online, and you want those files kept in a place where there will not be easy access to it unless a user pays or subscribes or does whatever before he or she will have access to that file. And because of the password that you use in protecting the file, if any user pays, you want to send this password to the user. You could be generating your password where no one will be able to have the same password, you know. And when you want to generate a password, you use the word round. That is, generate these random numbers. And this is how to use the round function. I told you a function is like a doing word. So round, this is an action. Okay, do this. Give me some random numbers as password. So when you say round, you state the beginning of the numbers that should be generated. You could say from 1 to 10,000. Okay, I want you to generate a number from 1 to 10,000. I want you to generate a number from 1 to 10 or 1 to 30. You see? Or 1 to 100. So when you say you want, then always remember your semicolon, like I said earlier on. So when you say something like this, you say, okay, give me a generated number, give me some numbers. And then when it generates this number, you now take this number, you can say, okay, generate this number and put it in a container. And then you now take the container, the variable, and in your mail to your users, you just include the variable there. And that's all. You have generated the password to use in accessing your files. You see the importance of this function. So a lot of functions like that, you see, these ordinarily are called arguments. So what we want the function to do, we pass it inside the bracket. That is what they call argument. I don't know what they are arguing about. You see, all this programming vocabulary is always giving me headache at times. So this is one of the reasons why I said I want to put up this tutorial to be able to clear the air on some programming vocabularies. You see? So ordinarily, we do it like this. Another thing I want to explain is PHP is a very powerful language. You could use PHP for a lot of things, for several projects. PHP could be used to rotate and add, to redirect users to an affiliate link or wherever you want. If you want to redirect a user, you will need to use the header function, like so. So like I said, a function could be referred to as an action. So what you are saying is that, hey, header, redirect my user to this specified place. Inside the bracket between these two bracket signs, you now put where you want your users to be redirected to. Let's say I have an affiliate link on Amazon website and I want users to be redirected to that website. I will just put the location of where they will be redirected to, put it in quotes. Maybe this is your affiliate link number, the header. Just instruct the header. Please direct my users to this URL. So you see how cool and useful PHP functions can be? It's a very powerful language. But because of time, I will not be able to cover all the important aspects of PHP, the various functions you can use to build a unique and functional application. But I have a free gift, and this gift is only free for just 2 weeks. I want you to take a look at this ebook, PHP Made Easy, to where a child can understand. In this book, I wrote about data retrieval applications, how to retrieve data from a database, how to build applications, how to build pagination like this. Look at this. In the ebook, I taught how you can create this type of cool pagination from start to finish. How you can create this and put it on your page, how you can dynamically generate this in PHP. So you will learn this, you will learn how to do this and many more applications, how to apply each function. You will learn to build all this from start to finish. After 2 weeks, it will no longer be available. So you have the opportunity now to get it for free. To be fast about it, click on the button below to get your copy. It's in PDF format. Thank you.